Hi everybody, how you doing? I've got my specs on today, what do you think? Not bad, are they? They're only 25 dabs from Vision Express. When I got the, when I had the test, I knew my eyes were knackered. Well, I need for reading. Not knackered, because they're not that bad, I suppose. Anyway, it doesn't matter, does it? I need glasses for reading, and I said to the fella when I came out, I went, just take me to the cheapest possible glasses you've got, because they're literally going on to read something and then coming off, and he went, that's where I'm taking you anyway, love, and I thought, cheeky get. Probably don't look like I've got two beans to rub together. Mind you, I haven't. But anyway, that's another story. Today, I'm doing the Q&A. I've had a few really good questions. Some people have sent me more than one question. I'm going to read them all out, and we're going to go through each and every one of them, if I can unlock this bleeding phone, that is. And yeah, I'll tell you who asked the questions, the names, and then we'll just take it from there. One of them I'm really struggling with because, well, you'll find out. Can I just say as well, this Sunday just gone, it's Monday the 24th today of July 2023. I was supposed to go to Oldham on Sunday, but I didn't bother going because it was absolutely pouring down. And I know that it was bad in Manchester because I was watching the news, you know, on that stuff that's going on in Greece with the fires. And that fella was doing a report from one of the runways and he was wet through, and I thought, there's just no point in me going doing a video, which they're always outside, aren't they? If I can't actually concentrate on doing the video. So I'm thinking it's probably going to be this weekend. However, the other problem that I've got with that, I do need to come down this weekend on Sunday. But the problem that I've got with that is I also need to decorate the bedroom. I've started it. I've got the wallpaper in there. It's gorgeous. I don't need much in. I've got all the furniture for the bedroom. I want a new carpet, but I'm just going to shelve that for the time being. And I'm doing some joinery and creating some things. So I definitely need to come to Oldham, yeah, because one of the things I need is in Oldham. So, yeah, I'll be down Sunday. And if it's not raining, oh, God, if it's not raining, it's hurting me, this chair, because my legs are too fat inside of it. If it's not too bad, I'll do a video, the one that I wanted to do. Anyway, let's get on with this Q&A. So, I've got quite a few questions here from Elijah. So these questions, I've put them in this order because it just makes more sense. So his first question is, did you grow up in Oldham, and where specifically? So the answer to that is, yes, I did. I was not born in Oldham, although my family are all Oldhamers. What happened was, when my mum was pregnant with me, my mum and dad started a family, moved over to Skelmersdale. And I was born in Ormskirk General on the 7th of October 1975. We lived in Skem for a few months, but my mum wanted to be back in Oldham with the family and her sisters and stuff. And I don't think my dad were too bothered. I think at the time, my mum told me there were a scheme where, I think if you moved to Oldham or back to Oldham, you got some money for a deposit for an house, probably like a new, you know, like new starter's house, I don't know. Anyway, they came back. My dad got a job. He used to work in that Dronsfield building at top of Ashton Road, and it's haunted. He's seen a ghost in there. I've told the story before. I'll tell you again if you want to know what the story is. I'll tell you. I won't tell you now because it's questions in it. And my mum and dad bought an house on London Road on Durka, and we lived there for, I think I was about 4 when we moved off. My mum and dad split up, I think, when I was about 3. Dad went back to Skelmersdale, and my mum ended up leaving that house, and we moved on to Shaw Road, and we lived in St Stephen's House. I think it was 148 St Stephen's House. So if you know St Stephen's House on Shaw Road, as it used to be back in the 80s, if you go up the stairs in front of St Stephen's Church, there's some steps that go up, and the flat was the second one down the dip. You'll know what I'm talking about if you remember it back in the day. And then when they knocked down Shore Road Estate, I moved to Whitstable Close in Chedderton, which is just near the Dog Inn. And then after that, I moved out of home when I was 17 and I moved to West Gorton in Manchester. So, that's a little bit of background there. How's the diet going? Elijah says. Diet's going really well. I weighed myself again today. I've lost, I think it's 1.5 pounds in a week. So I'm really happy with that loss. Keep losing like £1 or £2 or 1.5 pounds. Excuse me. Oh, sorry. I just had salmon fillet and noodles for my tea. You know those Maggi noodles? They're really nice, low fat ones. Not that low fat is the answer. Well, it is with this diet I'm doing, but some people will argue high fat is. But anyway, I'm not getting into that. But that's what I've had for my tea. What was I talking about then? Hang on, let me just remind myself what we're talking about. Get my glasses on. How's the diet going? Oh yeah. So I keep losing like £1.5, £2. I've lost just over a stone now, but this week I really wanted to be like, I'm literally almost at that point, you know, when you go into like the next stone down. I've still obviously got lots to lose, but I'm like 0.75, like £0.75 pound over the stone rate. So I need at least a pound off next week to slip into that next, and then it's just counting back those pounds to the next one, innit? So yeah, diet's going really well, and I've started at the gym. And tomorrow, by the way, just on that score, I'm in Manchester. I've got a meeting in Manchester. Well, actually, I'm working in Manchester all day, and meet my bosses there, and my colleagues and what have you. We're all having a day in the office. Usually, I work from home, but I'm doing a video tomorrow while I'm there. I'm not going to tell you what it is, because obviously that'll ruin the surprise. But there will be lots of history, both recent histories and really old histories, that I'll be telling you about on the journey. We'll leave it at that. So, and obviously, I'm going to be doing a walk basically, and it's going to be a long walk. That's all I'll tell you. How did I meet Lou? This is the strangest thing, because me and Lou only met like, I think it was before I left Oldham, I'm sure it was. Or was I here? No, I can't remember. I've known Lou now for quite a while, months, about a year and a half. No, I must have lived here. Anyway, so yeah, I've known Lou, let's say a year and a half. Why I say it's strange is because Lou's best friend is my cousin by marriage, although I don't really know this girl that well, because she's a relative of me auntie's husband, if you know what I mean. And our paths don't really cross, which is probably why, and not for any reason, we just don't, you know what I mean. But that's probably that's probably why me and Lou never met before then. But I'll tell you how we did meet. Sorry. I was sat in my house one day, like relaxing, and my phone started bleeping, like my YouTube phone, you know, my YouTube thing. You have like a dashboard, you know, like YouTube dashboards, give you your stats and all that, and you get your messages on there. So I'm looking at it, and it kept saying, Chris the Butcher sent me, Chris the Butcher sent me, Chris the Butcher sent me. And I thought, who the bloody hell's Chris the Butcher? Because at that point, I didn't really watch. I mean, I do now. I've got, not lying, I've got Chris's video on now, and hopefully I've not caught that bleeding. Let me try. Yeah. So, not lying, I watch Lou's and Chris's videos all the time now, but I didn't know at that time. Anyway, I searched Chris the Butcher and they were doing a live. I think Chris had green hair at the time, but I might be wrong with that. I forgot a feeling he had green hair. But anyway, so I thought, who the bleed now's Chris the Butcher? Like, and then I realised they were older than us, and then Lou came on. Lou had blonde hair at the time. And then Lou came on, and, you know, they're dead down to earth, aren't they? You know, proper Oldhamers, just down to earth, normal people. And I put a message on saying thanks, you know, because loads of people have come and subscribed. And as they do, they always champion other YouTubers, don't they, you know, and they're not like, you know, they'll promote other people that they like. And it turns out that Lou really I don't know about Chris as much as Lou, but I know that Lou really liked the channel because she, you know, likes the older mystery and stuff. I'm sure Chris does too. I'm just saying, it was me and Lou that got friendly, obviously. But that's how we met. And then, well, what happened was I sent her a message. I put a message on just saying thanks very much. And then Lou was like, oh, Sarah, watch your channel, blah, blah, blah. And that was it. And then I don't know, we got talking, I think. I don't know how I got Lou's number. Lou, if you're watching this, do you know how I got your bleeding number? Because I don't... We arranged to meet, didn't we? And first time we met, me and Lou, we went to... oh, God, what's it called? Keep moving with this chair, it's killing me. Mervyn Fall. Is it Mervyn Fall? Oh, I can't remember. That's that pub up Strinesdale anyway. I'll remember in a minute and I'll tell you. It'll come to me and I'll tell you. But yeah, Lou's a really good friend and I really like spending time with her. Do you prefer Barnsley? Yes and no. I love living in Barnsley. It's beautiful. You know, I go out in the house. The first thing I like about Barnsley is the house. I didn't move to Barnsley for the area. I moved to Barnsley for this house. I wanted a stone cottage. I always wanted a stone cottage, a beautiful little cottage of my own that I can make my own, and this is it. It just so happens that when I go out my door, I've got a beautiful view. I've got wonderful neighbours. I'm lucky because when I was in Oldham, I had wonderful neighbours. You know, won't mention them because they are private people, but really nice people, lovely kids, and I had a really nice time living in Oldham. The reason why I left Oldham, as I said, was just because I wanted to sell the house I was in. It was too big for me. I had like two big massive front room, it got a massive hall, you know, two big massive bedrooms. And it needed money spending on the house, and I didn't want to spend money on the house because I didn't want to live there. So that's why I decided to sell. And then I had a look. There was a house on Round Farm Road in Oldham, but there was the house on Round Farm Road, and they wanted 110,000 for it. And I just thought, do I really want to spend like 110? So do I prefer? Oh, I haven't finished. So I prefer Barnsley for that. I prefer Barnsley because it's cheap living in terms of what you can get for your money. And I've got a beautiful view and I've got nice neighbours, but I had that in Oldham. And I feel healthier since living in Barnsley. It's cleaner. You know, in Barnsley, check this out. You get your bin, your grey bin, it gets emptied every 2 weeks. Pretty sure it was every 3 weeks in Oldham. And then but there's that. What was else? What was it? What I miss about Oldham, I miss Oldham because it's my own town. I miss being able to just go and see my family and my friends. I really miss being able to like sit in my house, look up a history, you know, maybe do one of my graves or something like that, and then realise that these people lived in such and such a place, and not just be able to get in my car and do a quick 5-minute drive and be there and then do a video. I really miss that. So like if I want to do that now, it's really difficult because I've got to drive like 40 odd miles to do it. I do it and I will be doing it again, and you know, but yeah, hopefully that's answered that question. I think we've got another one from Elijah and then we're going to move on. We've got some really good questions actually moving down. I can't open this effing phone. If you could do a video anywhere in the world, where would it be? I thought about this one before I come on camera. I think it would have to be Central Park. And it's funny actually because I was watching YouTube last night and this fella had done a video where he was just walking around. He weren't saying anything, but I was watching it because, you know, I'm all about the statues and the history and stuff like that. So there's a few things. Can I just say a few things? Central Park, I want to do, and I am going to do it, by the way. We are going to take Sarah's UK Graveyard to New York. I'm just waiting for things to get a little bit cheaper, a bit more real, you know, reasonable. And then we will be doing Central Park. I can guarantee you that. And we'll do some other histories. But also, while we're in New York, we're going to go and find some graveyards because those American graveyards are something else. They really, really are. You know, like the old Victorian ones, everyone that went over there and all that money. Beautiful. So yeah, that's my dream video at the moment. Lisa259 said, what's your favourite building and graveyard? Favourite building? It's a really good one, that, Lisa. That's caught me a little bit off guard, that one. Because favourite building, I don't know. I can't be so specific. Oldham. If we're saying in Oldham, let's keep it to that. Favourite building in Oldham. One that I haven't been in, I really want to go in the music rooms. And I want to go in the music rooms because it was built by John Platt. And I know that it's all knackered. In fact, if you look at my Werneth video, the pigeon attack one, I actually go on top of the music rooms. I could get in because the barriers were down. So I walked in. I'm just gutted that I didn't think on to go down these steps because I probably would have been able to get inside the building. That said, probably wouldn't have been a good idea for me to go in case there was a nutter in there, or if there was a rat in there or something, or if there was something nasty down there that I didn't want to walk over, if you know what I mean. You know, you just don't know, do you? But I am sorry that I didn't at least try, but that was probably my senses kicking in. But I did go on top of the music rooms because there's steps going up the side, which I didn't know about. And you can look out all over the park, and it just made me think that, you know, like years ago, people probably would have gone up there and just sat with a drink in the evening. Maybe John Platt sat there with Eli Lee's and they had like pints, and I think it's going to do a thing, that. Yeah, it's doing that thing for an hour. Hang on, watch. It's 6:25 according to that. No, 7:25, it's not. It's 7:10. It's 7:25 on there and it's ringing 8 bells. Honestly, it's nuts. I love that. I love it though. I love that it's just off its nut. So yeah, favourite building has to be, I would say, the music rooms in Werneth Park, because I've not been able to go in and I would love to go in. And as I said, I did peek inside through the window, and if you watch the video you'll be able to see it looks beautiful down below. So yeah, and there's old signs there that says ladies, oh god, again, it says ladies and gents. If you're interested, go and have a look. Favourite graveyard, it's gonna have to be Chadderton. And because it's got all the people in that basically I've done videos on, and that's where I found the most interesting like histories, you know, like John Duncoft, MP for Oldham, John Platt, MP for Oldham, died out in Paris. His son Samuel, who died on his yacht, he's buried in there. You've got Eli Lees and his wife. You have Sergeant John Hogan, World War One Victoria Cross recipient. I did a video a while ago on Chadderton, a couple of years ago actually, on Oldham Library, and I called it The Scandal of Oldham Library. And if you've not seen it, then you need to go and watch that video, because I tell the story of the build and the people that were in it and the trouble around it. And I don't just mean about the building, I'm talking about the architect, the trouble that he caused with wife at home and all sorts going on outside. But yeah, his wife is buried in there. He's not the architect because he ended up going out to New York, disgraced. He couldn't get work in Oldham afterwards. If you watch the video, it'll make sense. But he ended up moving to New York, and I think he died when he was 50 odd. But he'd actually done quite a lot of buildings around Oldham, you know. He didn't just do the library, he did loads of other stuff, but I can't think off the top of my head what he did do, but he did do a lot. What else? Oh, listen, if you've seen my Chadderton videos, you know, Squire Knott's in there. I'm trying to get, that's what I meant to say. If anybody's got out there any Victorian portraits, you know, like women or men, you know, the photographs in like A4 or whatever, or if you've got any old photographs that you don't want and you want to sell, will you let me know, because I'll be very interested for my little project that I've got going on. One of my little projects. Oh, anyway, hopefully that's answered your question, Chadderton Cemetery. Amanda E said, why did you leave Oldham and what do you do for your job? Well, I sort of answered that before, Amanda, the reason why I left Oldham. But what do I do for my job? Well, at the moment, I work as a skills coach, which basically translates into I teach qualifications in level 2 and level 3 recruitment. So I will basically enroll someone onto a course who maybe works for a recruitment company who wants to obtain a professional qualification, and depending on what the job description is, they'll do either a level 2 or a level 3. Did I say level 1 or level 2? I meant level 2, level 3. If I didn't say that, that's what I meant. And yeah, at the end of it, they achieve an apprenticeship, they achieve an MBQ, and they achieve what's called a certificate of knowledge in recruitment. I've been doing that now for, God, about 2.5. I worked for the company for 2 years in February, so coming up 2.5 years. I love my job, but it is changing slightly. We're going down a different route. I can't say what we're doing at the moment because it's not all official yet, but there is going to be a couple of changes. However, I still will be doing what I just said I do. Let's have a look. Right, so Muqtadir Ali. He has just turned itself off. I think it's running out of battery. So Muqtadir asked, did you go to college or university when you left school, and what did you study? No, I never went to school really until the last 1.5 years. I was a wagger. So I went in the first and second year, and then I was off the third. No, I went in the first year, wagged it the second and third year, went back in halfway through the fourth year. I did leave with qualifications. I kick myself now because I was a stupid little idiot, and if I would have gone into school, I think I would have been able to achieve maybe go into archaeology, which was one of the things that I wanted to do, but the fact that I didn't go to school meant that I wasn't able to do that. I wanted to be an archaeologist, by the way, yeah. But yeah, no chance of that with no proper education. However, saying that, I've done quite well for myself and I've got a really good job now. I've always had pretty good jobs, to be fair. Historically, I've been in the car trade. I used to sell cars, I used to manage car dealerships, I was manager at Nissan Oldham for many years. I worked for a lot of independents. Prior to that, I worked for British Car Auctions, and then when I left school, just to answer your question, Muqtadir, no, I didn't go to college or uni. I got a YTS as a hairdresser, and I worked in a place called the Court Salon on Lord Lane in Failsworth, and I did extremely well. I still do my mum's hair now to this day, and I do my own colours and stuff, but I'm not a qualified hairdresser. Again, I left before I completed. So the final question is from Kelly Pitats. Right, I'm gone. Pitakshanin. Have I pronounced that right? Most interesting grave in Oldham. Why and where is it? Most interesting grave in Oldham. Why and where is it? Well, I would say it's the grave of the, there's loads of graves. I love them all. I really do. It's a really difficult one, that. The most interesting for me, possibly the blind bellman of Oldham, who's buried in Chadderton. The grave is very insignificant. In fact, if you look at I say it's insignificant, if you look at the face of the stone, there's text all the way down it, but right at the bottom is the marker for Joseph. Now, he's the one who's the blind bellman of Oldham. He's the man who's got the statue in Alexandra Park, and I actually found out an interesting fact the other day, which I'll tell you now. That statue in Alexandra Park, it wasn't erected because he was the bellman of Oldham for 40 years, blind from birth, and you know, did such a good job as bellman of Oldham. It wasn't because of that, it was because of his services to religion. That's why they put that up, because he was such a religious man, not because he was a bellman. So there you go, interesting fact that, isn't it? But I like his grave, and I find it interesting because he's in with other people who have not got the same, Joseph Howarth is called, they've not got the same name as him. And I think maybe they have, you know, been kind enough just to let him go in the family grave. I really don't know the answer. Incidentally, the person who took the photograph that the statue was made from, the statue was made about 4 or 5 years after his death and put in the park. The person that took the photograph is buried just a little bit further away, and that's Squire Knott, who was an Oldham photographer. You might have heard of the Squire Knott pub if you've been. The old pub that was on the corner of St Mary's, the Squire Knott. It's called Squire Knott after him, but actually the photographic studio that was there was Albert Knott, his son, not Squire. So there you go. I think that's the end of the questions, and it is. So that's it. I've sat weird on this chair, everyone, because this is the only way that I'm comfy. But so there you go. That's the Q&A over with. Thank you to everybody who asked questions. If you're still watching to the end, wow. And well, actually, if you've watched full stop, wow, because I can't imagine that anything that I've said is extremely interesting, apart from probably the histories. But yeah, keep posted to the channel, everybody. I'm going to be doing a standard sort of me video every Sunday, I think, with updates of what I've been up to, certainly while I'm doing these things in the house. If I've done all the decorating in the bedroom by doing the wallpaper, I'll show you that in Sunday's video, and then I'll show you the complete bedroom once I've done all the other bits and pieces, because it's not just going to be wallpaper, there's lots that's going into it. I'm not going to give it away because it'll just ruin it, and I want it to be a little bit of a surprise. So, sorry about the hair and the makeup, everybody, but I've been rained on for... I washed this last night and then went to bed with it, and then I woke up with it like this, and then I combed it, and then I went out and I got rained on this morning, in and out, and then it's just stayed like this. So that's why it's like this, and I'm not changing it, because in the morning I'm going to wash it again and then straighten it, because obviously I'm going in the office tomorrow. So that's that. Anyway, I will see you all soon. Thank you very much for watching, and let me know if you like this video. Maybe I can do another one, but if not, then you never have to watch it ever again. Alright then, see you later, everyone. Thanks for watching.